Oh, come on!
You weren't DMing said that because I went to the one that had 3 screens, not 4.
That's cheating.
No, you just misunderstood what I said. It's not my fault.
No, it's because we're on a delay. That's bullshit. I'm sweeping the roses now. Hi, I'm 8. I have issues. I'm complicated.
Hi there, guys, and welcome to session 49 of To the Skies. I'm your DM of Doom, Son of Asgard, or World Tree Quests here on Twitch and YouTube. And with me today we have got my lovely and my amazing cast. We have got Stories from the Roses, we've got Wingo the Wizard, and we've got Johnny Deadman. Now, I don't have any housekeeping, so I'm going to pass right to my party, and I'm going to allow them to answer my favourite question that I like to ask, which is, guys, what the fuck happened last session?
Dragon fanfiction.
Listen,
The whole session was just dragon fucking.
I've begun the typing. Okay. I'm going for a dragon romance story that ends with just fucking. But anyway, yes, there was a hype train that happened last session, which has resulted in me having to type dragon smut, which is a weird thing I never thought I'd have to tell my wife when she said, "Hey, how was session?"
50 Shades of Scales.
Thanks for joining us today, folks. I've been your DM of Doom, Son of Asgard. But yeah, so what happened last session in the story?
Just don't wait for us.
We know this is your job.
This is your.
Oh, sorry. I also, my mom was just talking to me for a hot second there, so that's why I was trying to like. Yes, I can give us a recap. So we were heading back to meet up with Jericho, and we were looking at a scroll, and it was a really cool one. It was one of Soul Leech, and we're like, leeching the souls, that's great for us. And then the chat was so nice, and they gave us more cash and prizes, and so we got a spell of delay after that. Or a scroll, sorry, not spell, but scroll of delay, and it was like, what? And so we traveled, and we get back to kind of this meeting place that we had decided, which is like just like a little island of nothing, but we're like, it's something in our hearts because we're meeting there. And we saw a bunch of people there who are like, you have my sword, you got my axe, and we're like, yeah, you guys are great. We had dragons and gargoyles and the mages, and a bunch of the free folk were there. Crash Bang and Boom. We had another Miss Whale, so it's like 2 Miss Whales, so we're like so prepared. And Teddy got a bunch of like merfolk and Tritons and folks to come help us. We also have mosasaurs, which is really cool. So basically like we got a little army. And we meet up with Jericho, we're like, Jericho! And it's like, you know, like the slow-mo, like, hey, hugs! And Jericho gave the ring with the demon prince to Fez, which becomes important later. But Brandon was there, and we're like, Brandon, what's up, bro? And he explained to us that he rounded up a bunch of people, but Talus and her ship had to go do something important, but Faulkner is here with us. We're like, yeah! The father-son duo! We love it! And we realized, hey, maybe we could power our ship with the demon ring. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. And we're called over to a table with a bunch of the leaders. And while we're having this very important, like, war meeting, Micah and Granite were just having such a fun time on the other side of the
Sparkle.
Exactly. And it was at that point that the hype train started.
It was at
so
that
we
point
had
that
us.
we knew things had went awry.
Yes. And it was so sweet and so fun, and people just really wanted some dragon smut. And we love that. But
At
we
least
start
we know
planning,
our
and
community is a Venn diagram. Is nerds and kinky people, and it's just a circle. At least we know. At least we know.
I love it. I love it. But then we start kind of planning out how we wanted to approach this facility under the water. We found out that there is above the surface entrance that's really heavily guarded, and there's lots of like tech and magical traps all throughout. And then on the outside of it, there's a bunch of like these mutants that were created by the fleet. And we're like, okay, how are we gonna go about this? Who's gonna go where? How are we gonna, invade? So Teddy is gonna be the head of our aquatic friendos. And then the Gargoyles and Dragons are gonna be providing aerial support, where the Mages and Silas are gonna be with us Thembos as we make our way through the facility to break down enchantments and such. And then we got to decide where other NPCs were going to be. So our wonderful, angsty, fallen angel, Aurelian, is going to be with us to be added muscle because we've got like a bunch of squishy mages with us. And we're not like a super tanky party. We're like a little bit tanky, but not like super tanky. Randuin will be with the free folk, helping provide some aerial support. Hark will be with the free folk. Kip is going to be with Teddy in the underwater group. And Paco is going to be with the underwater group, obviously, as well with the other mist whale. And we're like, okay, we ride at dawn. And so we had kind of, like the night before the big battle chat, end of times with all of our loved ones. So Jericho and Teddy had the sweetest of sweetest moments. And Teddy was like, I've got something to talk about after all this. And Jericho was like, tell me now. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just scared him because I hit my desk. I'm so sorry I scared you, Heath. But Jericho's like, tell me now. And he's like, well, all these underwater people, they like want me to be their king, because they've got like a power vacuum right now. And I fit that role real well. And Jericho's like, royalty? Yes. My husband is royal. And they had very cute moments. It was a lot cuter than that, but Jericho is just a loving and supporting wife, and we stand them. And then they ended their little chat with some fun times in the water. So on one side of the island, Micah and Grana were having fun, and then on the other side we had Jericho and Teddy having fun, and it was just lots of fun.
Lots of
splish,
fun.
splash.
Lots of fun was had.
Yes, so much fun. And then Fez was like, I could talk to loved ones, but I love myself more.
I talk to you guys all the time.
So he put on his helmet, and he's like, hey, helmet, I've got this really cool ring with a demon lord in it, and I could power our ship with it. And then his little helmet was like, or we could make a nuke. And Fizz was like, that is a compelling argument. Yes, please let me hit
sorry,
the red
Jess.
button. Have I said something
Oro,
wrong?
no.
Okay.
Oro just gave us like
Oh god.
20 subs.
Oh my
Jesus
god!
Christ, Oro.
We got to a level 4 hype train.
We're on a
In
level
5
5
seconds.
hype train.
We're at
We're on a
level
level guys, you guys know
Oro.
I've had 4 heart attacks, guys. Okay, right?
Oro, that's so sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank
This is such
you
a big episode
so much,
too.
Oro.
Yeah.
So much for
Freaking
that.
sweet.
But at the same point, guys, will you calm it the fuck down?
No, never, ever, ever. This man needs to know how good he is.
Exactly.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to write so much smut.
All the smut.
Now we need Jericho and Teddy smut.
Tentacles and tentacles and tentacles.
Tendrils. There's a difference.
Depends on who's using them.
So fair.
So everybody was speaking to loved ones.
Sorry, Jess.
Yes. And Fez is like, okay, give me the plans. And the helm's like, not so fast, sir. I need something in return because that's going to cost me some of my power. And Fez is like, name your price, bro. And he's like, ingots eye. Really meaningful mentor who left that with you as kind of like their final will and testament to you becoming the new prophet. And Fez was like, here you go, buddy. And he put it in the helm, and it was quite a time. I put in here, the wife got Will to do it. Because Erica Vecna was the one being like, do it.
I'm a wife guy. There's nothing else to say about that. I'm a wife guy.
And so Fez got the schematics for an Orb of Devastation, which is like a Sphere of Annihilation on steroids. So hooray for that. We're gonna nuke this world and possibly tear a new reality. Like,
We were the BB&Gs, right? We're supposed to break it more.
it's not! Well, she was for a hot second there, actually, so... for about 100 years, she was.
So wait, are you guys the BBEGs? There was a time I could drink my cares away.
It's not very often you see reverse character development.
The character digression rather than character progression.
I've never seen players become so good that they became bad.
We lived too long. We're now the villains.
Yeah, Pheasant's entire character arc is to live long enough to become the villain.
We love that for Fez. Then 8 went and talked with Hark and had, oh, my little guy, my little beanie. And just some sweet moments there. Also, apparently somebody told Hark that Mariska and Kip did spicy things, and they did not do spicy things, so 8 is gonna find whoever told him that. And she might go a little BBEG on that person, but, that's neither here nor there. But speaking of Kip, she went and talked to Kip, and they're engaged now, and I'm very excited about it. Like, the fact that I'm like, my D&D character got engaged, and I'm like, chronically single, but I'm like so much more excited about Abe getting engaged than anything that's happened in my love life ever. Yeah.
When Wingle got engaged, I was through the moon.
It's so exciting. I'm just like, married one day. Anyway, that's where we left off.
Yeah, that was it. And now we come to it. The sound of the waves crashing against the coast. The night's rest came, but whether it came easy or not, that remains to be seen. As the ships are lined up, dragons saddled, gargoyles prepared, mages packed and ready to move out, and deep sea rebels treading water, waiting. Dawn breaks, and Faulkner gives the command. He draws his sword. Actually, hold on.
Oh, he's getting a sword. Oh yeah,
I have so many swords, I
big
can't find
daggers.
the one I'm looking for.
Are we all gonna go grab our weapons?
Yep.
All I
Aha,
got is
found
my
you.
dog. All I have is my dog. He's my weapon.
I don't have any of my.
I forgot, I actually have a basket-hilted cutlass, so...
I think my partner stole my sword.
He draws his sword, the legendary blade Undertow. He points it forward, and then he shouts back, "Alright, you motley crew, Let's give him 9 shades of hell. The sails of ships unfurl. The sounds of dragons roaring. The sound of war cries from water genasi, deep elves, sea elves, denizens of the ocean, as great beasts of aquatic destruction start their swim forward. Ships begin to lurch, and the assault begins. Now, what we're going to do here is just a series of rolls to see exactly how things go in the initial approaches. You guys have got a choice of where you're going to be stationed to get through. You can be on the deck of the Queen Anne's Revenge, powering through the waves with the majority of the fleet behind you. You can be on the Tempest, in the air. Or, you can be on the back of a huge marble and gold dragon.
Oh, I wonder which we're all gonna choose. God, the
I think
options.
we know the answer.
Put me on that damn dragon.
Okay. So you
And
guys
I said for the second time in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Alan.
So you guys have chosen to be going in via the air, but low air approach. Not high in the air, fighting the airborne opponents with Randuin and some of the Gargoyles. You're choosing the low air approach where you've got about half of the Gargoyles. What used to be a Gargoyle and is now, I've rolled for it, permanently, a marble and gold dragon.
What is his little pixie friend gonna think? They're gonna be like, what the heck is this?
He still has the little dent on one shoulder, but instead of it being like this big now, it's like the size of a pinky nail. Oh wait, actually no, it would be so big you wouldn't be able to notice it on him because he's a gargantuan creature. So he's like,
Yeah.
either way.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yes.
We have some beautiful spells that we have gotten. And I feel like it would be a shame not to have a colossificated dragon. I'm just saying, if we want the most opportunity, having that dragon be Titanic or whatever fucking size rating it is going to be super helpful to distract the fleet while we go in. I just kind of wanted to call that out now while we're on the back of the dragon versus us being already inside.
So the spell's called Colossification.
Yes.
If the creature is smaller than Gargantuan, it makes it Gargantuan.
Oh,
the way
it's already
that
gargantuan.
no, hold on. If it is Gargantuan, it makes it colossal.
Colossal.
So to put in perspective, in the old systems it was Gargantuan, Titanic, Colossal. Okay?
Yeah.
But that has now went down into being Gargantuan bracket Titan, which is like Gargantuan but like a whole step bigger. So like the Tarask is Titanic. If you cast this on him, he would be larger than a Tarask.
I'm just saying that feels like really helpful in this moment.
You remember when I said that the reason the Tarask has spikes is because out there somewhere there's a predator that can either swallow it whole or pick it up and carry it?
It was granite the entire time.
You just made the thing that
time.
can pick it up and carry it. Okay, are you casting Colossification on Granite?
I can't cast 9th level spells.
Ah, shit.
I
Eight-
can. I
eight can
can.
do it?
8 has
Okay.
all the spell scrolls. None of us can do it. Hi, Mom!
They're saying hi.
Hello,
Hello.
guys. So good to see you. Oh my gosh.
Okay, awesome. So in that
freaking
case,
cute.
8,
Isn't she the cutest?
you unfurl the scroll. Bear in mind, you guys have got like a solid 25 feet of moving about space on the back of this guy. That's about to triple.
It's gonna be a football field on the back.
You unveil the scroll and you start to read it off. You can do that easily. It's a druidic. You're reading druidic as you start to cast this. Natural magic flows around the stone body of Granite, and you see the gold on him highly polish and start to expand. That marble that is pitted from years and years of combat starts to smooth out and become whole once more. And Granite goes from being roughly 80 feet long from nose to tail tip to 160 and then to 320. He becomes so big it would take you multiple rounds of movement to go from one shoulder to opposite shoulder. He becomes so big that very feasibly, if you didn't want to do a rescue mission, he could grab the top of this facility and fly up and either lift facility or tear the roof off this can.
I mean,
He's now an exceptionally credible threat.
I would like to
And
cast can opener on the fleet.
It's now going to make something that is going to happen later quite fun. But
I was
take
thinking
a
about it.
note.
I'm so sorry. I was thinking about it all week. I was like, we're coming in with 2 dragons. Why don't we fucking colossify the dragons?
I mean, of all the things to cast colossification on,
Big,
that was a good
big, big, big dragons. I want some big, 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 big dragons.
I need a pen. I need a pen. There's my pen.
That
Okay, cool.
honestly, that probably pushed this well into our favor. Just that one move. I love that so much. I love strategizing. This is the stuff that I love in D&D. I love big missions where you like one big move can really turn the tables. We had a one where we cast silent on a 9th level casting freaking cleric and won the combat. So I love this. This is my jam.
As you come down to flying right above the surface of the water, it's enough that it is causing a furrow that you see several of your deep sea rebels no longer swimming underwater. They are riding the sides of the furrow Granite is creating like they're surfing.
Yes.
Oh, that character art would be so freaking cool.
Granite
As it starts singing
and
Wipeout.
Granite inhales, drawing in power. You see on his neck, where like you would see the vents for a red dragon glow red with fire, you see cracks in his start to glow with radiant energy as he was a paladin, and he exhales a beam of pure radiant energy forward. And
Oh, does the
I'm going to-
colossification change his beam?
No, his beam was always going to be radiant damage, but it was always going
Oh
to be
no, I
a
meant like
light.
the length or the strength of it. Does it change
Oh,
that?
because his size increases, yeah. So size
Okay.
of things increase. So the initial range of his beam was fairly standard with most dragons. It was going to be a 90-foot long, 5-foot wide. As he's grown, I will just increase this. I will just double the sizes on it. So it'll be 180 long, 10 wide, and then with colossification it would go 360 long, 20 wide.
Make a hole in the mountain. I would like to make
And-
a hole in that mountain.
Instead of it just being like a beam of like yellowish white light, it actually, to lean right into just the epicness of this, it goes very like, if you're familiar with things like, you know, Dragon Ball Z and stuff, when they're doing the Kamehameha, and it's just like a big white blast, but then when they like do the fusion and it's the Big Bang Kamehameha, and it's just like a ball, and then the ball's really tiny, then just like bursts into this huge massive beam. It's like a tiny orb that starts at the back of his jaws, and then as he unhinges and lets it loose, it just explodes out. And it tears forward. And as caught in this line, there's going to be some of the nautical defences. Metal floating platforms covered in like arcane turrets, preparing to fire barrages of arcane energy. And you watch as they turn, see Granite coming, and as the beam builds, you can actually see several members of the fleet abandon port. Like, they bail overboard, they jump in the water. Some of them are actually so unfortunate you see them jump and they don't hit the water, as mosasaurs just come out and catch them partway through the jumps. Very Avatar 2 Way of Water when they're trying to jump off the ship and those flying crocodile barracuda things just snatch them before they hit the water.
Amazing.
As Granite lets loose this tremendous expulsion of power, and it rips through, theoretically it's going to rip through the first at least three platforms within this 20 feet. At this point, they start to fire back. From here, you guys have got 3 rounds where you get to give commands. Essentially, euthaumaturgy, so to speak. And you can command air, surface we're going to call it instead of land, and sea, under the sea forces to attack. You can command for them to cover you, at which point I will take that into consideration for a saving throw that will be made. You can command them to attack and name a particular area to attack. So, for instance, sea. The surface needs a bit of backup. There's heavy defenses. Focus on things on the surface. At which point, their roles will be counted into it for the futures of the battle. Or, you can have everything just go as normal. You can pass and leave everything as is. To remind you all, you have split the gargoyles. Half attacking on the surface, half attacking in the air. You have Randuin and the Dragon Riders attacking in the air. So that's one ship in there, all the Dragon Riders in there. You have the Free Folk, and as was said, half of the Gargoyles attacking on the surface. To be specific on how that's happening, they're attacking by carrying mages, and the mages are, you know, pew pew pew, blah blah blah. Those mages are also the ones that are coming in with you. So that's something to take into consideration. And then beneath the surface, you have Kip and his buddy. And you have the Deep Sea Rebels, the rebellion and the forces of those who live beneath the waves. Okay? Now, you did just put a message in there. I did see it. I will allow you at this point to decide if you want the gargoyles to all focus on the air.
I'm thinking, since we have a double Taras size dragon, that we actually could use those extra gargoyles on the surface, because that seems to be our weak point. That's where we have the least amount of people. So I think that we actually don't split the gargoyles. We actually put the gargoyles on the surface, and then because we already have multiple things in this air, that'll split them almost equally between the 3, which covers our weaknesses. Does that make sense?
At which point, with Granite being the size he is, we could just say that Silas and the mages are on his back with you.
That works.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then we run with that. So first things first, I'm going to go to 8. Oh wait, actually no, you've just took a bite of food.
So
Don't worry.
sorry.
You enjoy your food. We'll go to Fez. Fez, you can give an order, or you can just leave it alone. You can affect the battlefield here.
Fez affects battlefields by explosions.
At the moment,
So-
you've got mutants, you've got fleet folk, and you've got mechanics. You've got things like automatons, you've got mechs, and you've got floating artillery platforms. We can't hear you, Wingo.
I don't want to tell him what to do. That's that.
I mean,
I know what I think is the right answer, but like, I don't want to tell you what to do.
I was gonna say we need to get some focus fire on the artillery platform.
That's what I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying. I was like, get rid of the range.
I know
like,
how dangerous artillery is. I am artillery.
Exactly. So like, if we get rid of the range first, that's our first big issue. So I think that's absolutely the play.
Okay.
I love this shit. This is my.
Who do you want to
niche.
focus on the artillery?
Mages have the best range, so I'm gonna say we should have the mages focus fire on the artillery platforms.
I like that.
Okay, so Fez. Command. Mages attack. Artillery. Okay, the moment you say that, Silas turns, takes the chains that are permanently they're no longer bound. Forgot they were removed. Silas is going to take and he's going to splay his hands, form a sigil in the air. All the mages follow him and they just start raining down barrages. They go fairly low maintenance. They just start hurling eldritch blasts, magic missiles, things that are low cost but are going to be devastating in large numbers. And they're going to barrage that down on the artillery.
Let's
So you see,
go!
if you imagine like surrounding this in circular walls, there are 4 thick nets made of chain. Attached to the chain is razors and arcane sigils that generate lightning. And then mounted every kind of 10 feet along these chains, there are platforms with these. And there are 5 deep of these things. Now in a straight line in front of you, in a straight line in front of you, 10 of them have been taken out. The chains have been eradicated on the surface level, meaning there's a way for the sea forces to get in, over, and under, and they can start wreaking damage there. But as you start focusing this on the outside of it, they turn and start to fire upwards. But granite, being the size he is able to swerve off most of these. But the mages rain down hell from above, following Fez's orders. We'll jump now to 8. So 8, you can give a command to attack, you can give a command to cover, which when I note it down will be given later for like a saving throw that a certain group has to make. Or you can just leave things as they are and move forward.
Trying to think. I don't know. I'm like so stressed.
Do you need more time to think?
Well, I'm just thinking maybe to have Randuin and the Higher Air Force cover us because we've got so many squishy mages to make sure that we don't end up.
That's a good idea. That's a
having
solid idea.
anything fired down on us. So let's go with that. Let's do that.
Okay, so 8, you're giving the command for the Air Forces to cover your surface approach.
Yes.
So 8, you give the call up. All of the leaders all have sending stones that are all linked to each other. So you pull out this sending stone, you give the command up to Randuin, and you see Randuin kind of do the whole, jumps to the side, his tail wraps around the rigging as he leans right over, sees you, and fires off just like a wee small blast of red magic to kind of let you know, heard. And then he's going to turn and he's going to yell to Dragon Commander Luca, gives him a signal of like, we're going down. And you see Luca flying in like a perfect V shape with a bunch of his dragon riders just swing his hand in a circle and then point down, and all these dragons and like synchronized divers start just dipping down. Suddenly you're covered by like constantly flowing in and out 9 dragon riders, and then the Tempest comes down. And the Tempest comes down, and bear in mind it's a flying airship, so it doesn't just have to move forward like that, it can go on its side and move sideways along it. So as it comes in, it goes in front of you, and Randuin is going to just slap the wheel. And as he slaps the wheel, it goes and goes and goes until it turns full horizontal, at which point he grabs the wheel, and Granite puts his head against the side of the Tempest and pushes it forward, at which point Randuin is just going to point forward and go, "Open up, lads!" And the Tempest is going to let loose a full broadside.
So cool.
Okay. So as these cannonballs rain in, and the Tempest is firing specifically chain shot, so it's not just one cannonball, it's 2 cannonballs linked by a length of about 10 foot of chain, so as it goes it swirls round like this. So even if the balls don't hit the artillery cannons, they can get hit by the chains, at which point the cannonballs roll right past and just drag them into the water. So, very, very devastating. Don't do as much damage as solid shot cannonballs, but if there's a particular thing you want to rip down, a chain shot's going to do it.
Yes.
Now we go to Jericho.
Jericho.
So as I said, Jericho, you can command a group to attack, command a group to cover, or you can just leave everything as is, nothing changes.
See this beautiful purple sparkly dragon. Hey, Micah, you think you can get us a little bit more room over here? And Micah sparkles. And I want Micah to attack and take out the front line. Or at least try to thin it out.
Okay, so Micah is an amethyst dragon. Because of the shenanigans that happened last time.
True polymorph and me making sure my one-shot character was going to be still relevant.
We love that for her. We love that for her.
How do you bring dragons to the final battle? I made one.
So that's a 90-foot cone. Okay, yeah, it's going to cover a wide berth of them.
Yes.
So you want Micah specifically, that would be the surface level attackers.
Yeah, you know, like when in every video game, like where it goes right across the front line. That's kind of what I'm like. I know obviously it's a line, but like just flying over and just go up the front line, just to give us an easier access point to this army, like just to kind of break their forces a bit.
Okay, so that would be...
I watch a lot of war movies, guys. I do this, like, I like this shit. This is good.
So that would be the surface forces, technically, because it's the surface forces attacking the artillery. Okay, cool. Right, awesome.
Taking it all out. No artillery for them.
So then in that case, after this initial approach, how things move is the air forces and the air forces are no longer clashing as your air forces have come down to cover. Your surface forces are attacking the artillery. And your sea forces are just moving in, moving forward, and dealing with any undersea threats. Your surface are also attacking the artillery alongside the mages on the back as well. They all count now as within, like, I know they're moving in with you, so they're technically part of the surface group, but they're their own separate thing as well. So I now have to make some rolls, and I'm going to need a volunteer to roll a saving throw. Okay, Jericho, if you could roll me a saving throw, you're going to have advantage on it, and the modifier on it is going to be a +9.
+9? Ooh, that is an 18 on the die +9.
27.
Total of
Fuck
27.
yes!
Okay.
Ah.
Both of those are successful. That one is successful. That one is successful. You break through the main artillery forces as all the guns turn and swivel on you through an equal combination of Silas giving the command and several of these mages just letting loose 9th level 9th level magic missiles, raining it down on top of these artillery cannons, as well as Granite sweeping the field with one of his beams again. Micah coming in, swooping down and letting loose this draconic breath weapon, which is...
Sparkle.
So to put into perspective how this breath weapon is going to happen, Granite burns them away, and but burns in the way of this isn't like fire, it's a beam of pure light. So it burns in the way of, you don't really get set on fire, you just turn to ashes. Amethyst dragons breathe out force damage. So as she's breathing out, there's very little visibility about it, but you just see things getting shoved under the water. And then you've got the Tempest full broadsiding. The surface forces do a devastating blow to the artillery, bringing it down to very minimal artillery forces left. In the air, with nobody combating them, the air support is able to descend on the fleet folk as part of the surface, and they're able to land on ships. At which point, part of the free folk have to deviate from the initial approaching attack to deal with the fact their ships have been boarded. One of them that has been boarded is the Queen Anne's Revenge, and you do see Faulkner point his sword at a mech and just, it's been a while since I've had a right good tumble, and just leap at it. It's very clear, you see where Randuin gets his Jack Napier approach to combat as Faulkner leaps forward, and as he points his sword, there's two, they look like ornamental cannon barrels mounted to the base of his sword, but as he leaps forward and pulls two small triggers inside, so I can show you almost right. So inside here on his sword, there's two small triggers, and as he jumps, he pulls both of them, and his weapon holds 2 shots. And he just fires off 2 rounds into this thing before leaping into combat. A bunch of ships also deviate and they start doing combat on deck. At which point, the fleet forces, the free folk forces on their ships that are approaching this area, have quite substantially depleted. However, you've now got your final approach. You move past the artillery. What you start to see now on your approach is the water starts to froth and boil up, and you start to see fins, and you start to see creatures leaping out and back into the waves. Creatures that are pale with giant black eyes, razor claws and teeth. And they start to leap and grab onto anything they can reach to start scaling. Now we get a little bit more specific, because now we're going to treat it like you have an actual action. And we're going to treat it like a horde combat. To put in mind of what these creatures are like, anybody seen the Mockingjay movies?
Yes.
Right, you know the things that kill Finnick?
Oh.
The things that they see in the sewers that are just basically
Yeah.
fish people. This is essentially what you're going up against here. Swarms of them. You're talking the surface of the water is turning white as you can see your deep sea rebellion allies and their creature companions doing battle. You can see Teddy on the back of Paco swinging his trident, battering them off, fighting, stabbing here and there. You even see like one of them jumping, nearly getting to Teddy before Paco's tail comes up and just slaps it down into the water. So now we treat it like an actual turn here, guys. Okay? And we're going to treat it like horde combat. And we're just going to go the same order. Fez, what do you want to do?
Alright, what have we got that can take those little bastards out? The artillery is mostly gone, but we can get the mages to switch over to ground support. Hell, I'll join them. I got Eldritch Blast for days.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. I'd say at this point it's your surface level and your sea level approachers you've got with your air support still granting you that cover. So with that, I would say you can give the order for you can just leave that, and the mages will just keep focusing on anything that is surface level contact. That would be this swarm of fish creatures at this point. So you could just leave that alone and use your turn, or you could give a new command if you wanted to.
No, I'm gonna stay on that. I'm gonna leave that as my turn. I'm gonna join the mages in providing ground support.
Okay, and what is it you're doing to provide ground support?
I'm firing every possible Eldritch Blast into whatever looks the most Cthulian.
Cool. What I do is just roll me an attack roll for Eldritch Blasting into the swarm.
Alright, that is a 12 of the die plus 22.
22. A 22 is going to hit. Roll me your damage.
Four bolts at this point, so.
Gotta love them 4 bolts.
Eldritch Blast, gotta love it. That's a 22. Would be higher, but I'm not currently on an Infernal Legend. That's what I could do. I could summon my Infernal Legends.
So as these mages are raining down their magic upon it, you join in. You're cackling madly and just hurling Eldritch Blast into this. On your final approach phase, 22 of these things fall to your Eldritch Blasts as you just levy these in.
Is Fez saying anything cool?
No, Fez is just laughing like a maniac.
Fez is just like, if I find even one religious idol in this place, it counts as a temple. Ah!
Guys, I'm literally shooting fish in a barrel.
Does Fez get advantage on attack rolls inside this place if it counts as a temple? I'll have to consider that. Going to
No, it's favorite enemy.
Favorite enemy, temples. So 8, again, if you want to give a command, you can. And then you have basically an action that you can do stuff on.
I mean, I think we're all just kind of doing what needs to be done in terms of, like, commanding our forces. But I do think there's a very vulnerable moment for 8 seeing like these aquatic creatures going at our aquatic forces and knowing Kip is down there. So I think she just like puts her hand around the ring that he gave her 'cause she's wearing it now. The little like leather strap that he gave her. And she's going to cast Control Water and cause just a big old whirlpool right where some of these creatures are like coming out to just try and stave off more coming out while our forces deal with the ones that are already out there.
Okay, so you launch Control Water on that. And it starts small, and then it starts to pick up and build until there's this vortex descending into the depths of the seas, swirling, twirling around, and you start to see these creatures swimming desperately to get through it. The advantage for your forces is that they're not just relying on their own swim speeds. As you see them, some start to get sucked into it, and then they, through whether they're using echolocation, sonic calls, or whether they're just above the surface and able to physically yell, you start to see their creatures come and grab them and start to almost dolphin hop to escape the force that's pulling them in. I'm going to take a note of this. And what I'm going to say is I'm just going to roll 3 d20s, and that'll decide on what I'll let you roll to see how many of these things you tear apart with centrifugal force. Considering the totals that are rolled here are an 11, a 10, and a 17. Your spell save DC, because that's what I'm going to use for this, is a 19.
Yep.
So yeah, they're all going to fail. So what I want you to roll for me then is I want you to roll me... I would like you to roll me 6d12.
Okay, 16.
And that seems like a fair number to catch in a whirlpool. The max you're going to get on that. The max you'll get on that would be 72. So
Yeah. Don't fall off, please. Not like the hugest number, but 38.
You guys watch as this whirlpool is summoned right in the middle of this combat that's going on, and you watch with, I don't know, me personally, if I was seeing this, I'd look at it with like, that's really damn impressive, really terrifying, but really damn impressive, because you watch as the force of this whirlpool is so much that you can actually see these creatures being pulled apart at whatever invisible seams were put in as they were built. They are pulled, stretched until this whirlpool is now a blender, essentially, of stormy blue water and pale purple ichor. 8, do you want to give any command to your forces, or are you leaving them as is right now?
I think I'm just going to leave it as is.
Okay, fantastic. So now we go final approach, Jericho.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I am this beautiful third-party class called the Commander Fighter. So
Yep.
as a bonus action, I'm able to issue 2 commands. Does this
So you just get
No.
an action. You just get an action, unfortunately. However, do keep that in mind for future points and
I will,
random points that you'll be able to do.
No, that's valid. So after Micah does that, I want her to give support to the free folk that are being attacked on the ship. Whether it's
Okay.
like her just kind of like grabbing things and throwing them off the boat with her teeth or something. I want her
Okay.
to I want her to cover that boat that's currently
Okay.
covering us.
So you want Micah to move from part of the surface approach forces to go and
Yeah,
assist
I want her to
those-
come down, then come back up.
Okay, cool.
And
So-
then
Oh no, go ahead.
it's fine. I did resolve it until and then I'll do my action.
Okay, so Micah will move from part of the surface approach, which is your forces, to covering those who have had to hold back in order to deal with what's attacking them.
Yep.
Okay? Micah will go and do that. Is there anything else you'd like on that?
Oh,
That's your command. So now it goes to your action. What would you like to do with your action?
So I have these floating short swords that are just kind of going around me, and I see 8 put her hand on her ring. And I put my hand over her hand, which has my ring. That has Teddy with the tattoos on my arm. And I go, don't worry, I got it. And you just, I'm looking at 8 as the two swords go, whoo, and they're gonna just go and hit some of the things that are currently being, that are going into the whirlpool.
Okay, so you draw the blades, and then you're using throwing attacks to throw them.
Yes, they're floating and they go boom, boom. And I have, it's times my intelligence modifier for my range. So I should not be at disadvantage for these.
No, you're definitely not at disadvantage. As a reminder, if you're throwing them, they can't be hovering. You have to draw them as weapons, then throw them. If they're hovering, that's where you get the reactions to block, block.
Oh yeah.
But
so
we'll say for the thematics of it, you float them up and then throw them.
Yes. Question: is it throw, and then next attack, throw, and then next attack, throw, or is it throw, throw?
No. So if you're if you're holding them, which is how essentially the way it works is it counts as if you're holding 2 of them, you get the weapon attacks with them. If they're floating there at the dormant stage, you have the reactions. You have to choose between one or the other. Once you get to the point where there's 4 or 6 blades, you can have 2 in your hands and still have your reactions because there's some hovering. So if you're holding them and you choose to throw them for attacks, you can throw, they come back, you catch, throw, they come back, you catch, throw.
So for my, just to be clear, for my attack action, I get 3 attacks. I can do 6 throws. Correct?
Oh, right.
Throw, extra attack, throw, extra attack, throw, or is it throw?
It's throw. I understand what you're saying now. But every time you throw, it comes back to your hand within that same turn.
Okay.
So it's not like throw, now they come back, I throw 1, and that one's just left.
Got it.
It's throw back, throw back.
Got it. So I have my hand on 8, and zoom, and then 1 comes back like a boomerang, and I just kind of command it to keep going as it kind of spins around us and slashes the water. First one is a 10 plus 10, which is 20.
That's gonna hit.
Next one is a 13.
13 in total?
Total.
Okay, 13 is not gonna hit, I'm afraid.
19 on the die, so 29.
That's gonna
Nice.
So with these ones, I get the D6 plus a D8 of psychic damage.
Yep,
Plus
1d6
17.
plus 1d8, and as it's ranged, you're adding your dexterity modifier on that, so it's 1d6 plus 5?
Plus 17. I have the thrown weapon property, and I've already calculated for a sharpshooter.
I'm talking about the damage.
Yes, the 17.
What?
I get so I have the thrown weapon style, which adds as a 2 bonus damage, and then I also have a sharpshooter, so I minus 5 from the original attack roll already.
It's a ranged attack, so yep, that does count on it. Yep, and then you add on the.
It's been a while since we've done the thrown weapon, guys.
Then you add on 5 for your dexterity, and then you also get to add your intelligence modifier onto this.
Oh, so it's not 17; it's 21.
Okay, cool.
So that's 21. So that's 42 base plus 42, 46, 53 damage total.
Fantastic. 53 damage total. So as you're throwing these blades, and for the sake of thematics, because it is horde combat, you're not just throw. You are on this approach, you're just sending these 2 blades zipping around. It's like you're wielding 2 Yondu's arrows as you're just throwing them round. And you sever through a veritable horde of 53 of these enemies by yourself.
I think it's very much like Teddy is going through, and he's ready to hit something, and it's already decapitated. It's just still in momentum, and he just looks at me, and I go, "That's one."
I love it.
Oh, we still have to be competitive, even if we're in dire situations.
I've also just seen that we have had a shiny and gold redeemed, or I need to get around to actually changing that, so its name is actually cash and prizes. But we've had a cash and prize redeemed. Thank you very much to TTV Wacky Man.
Thank you, Bet Wacky. Oh, dang, Wingle, get him. I'm like, I love this build. The thrown weapon, being able to play with it, and I haven't been able to do the thrown weapon because I was switching weapons and classes for like 6 months. So this is my first time getting to get really back into the thrown weapon. Oh, it feels good.
As this moves on to the final approach, your sea forces clash with their sea forces, as well as having support from your surface forces. They massively overpower those creatures beneath the waves. With the help from part of your surface forces and the rest of the air forces coming down and covering in, as well as the mages hammering down, the free folk that were bogged down by landing fleet folk as well as mechs and such are able to fight them off. It's at this point Granite lands as much as he can at this size on the top of this thing and allows you guys to disembark where you can see a hangar door. At this point, the outside combat is no longer your concern.
But it is, but it's not, but it is.
Ding, ding, motherfucker. Ding, 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 motherfucker. Open the door.
You move forward. Are you using the chime of opening?
Absolutely, I am.
You run forward. You don't even hesitate. You get to it. Ding, and this.
Ding. I have 2 charges left.
There's 2 hisses as cogwheels, and this huge mechanoid door opens, and you guys are able to step onto a platform that has only one button. Down.
Rest.
Before we touch anything, can
Never
I
mind.
cast Find Traps?
Yeah, you
Find
can.
path actually would be helpful right now.
So you're casting Find
Yeah,
Traps?
I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Yes.
Okay,
Do
cool.
that 2 more times after this.
How does that spell work, if you can just remind me?
Yes, let me read it. It says, you sense the presence of any trap within range that is within line of sight. A trap for the purpose of this spell includes anything that would inflict a sudden or unexpected effect you consider harmful or undesirable, which was specifically intended as such by its creator. Thus, the spell would sense an area affected by the alarm spell, a glyph of warning, or a mechanical pit trap, but it would not reveal a natural weakness in the floor, an unstable ceiling, or a hidden sinkhole.
Okay, there are no traps.
Okay, cool. We're good. Press the button!
Do you want to maybe do that light path thing to my son? The way how?
Yes, I certainly can do locate creature.
Oh,
I have
was
that ready.
thinking. Oh, you didn't do find the path.
No, because I wouldn't... It doesn't work on creatures. I would have to know exactly where he is in order to do that.
And-
But I can do
okay,
locate creature and know a basic ping of where he is.
Please.
Okay.
It's
Also,
concentration.
how big is the area that we're moving through? Like height
Elevator
and
side?
width.
So the elevator's got enough room for about 40 personnel.
Oh, sweet.
Not a big dragon.
I think we need
No,
the minivan.
we can't bring our dragon with us.
Oh, we're bringing Sparky, Sporky, Spicky,
Pinchy.
Pinchy?
Pinchy, Slappy.
Yep. I've missed you, old friend. And I beam in the battle wagon.
What color is he?
Oh, today he's black and white checkerboards.
Yes. I love it.
Black and white. Remind me, black and white checkerboards.
That makes it more durable.
Okay, so
It's
I'll give you
solid.
a +1 AC.
Yeah, he's a Ludewolf today.
I love that.
Black and white checkerboards. One day I cannot wait for you to just turn around and go, I'm going to paint him purple. He's now
There's nothing
invisible.
stealthy about what is happening today. Today is pure wah.
Today is the wah.
Today is the wah.
What colour is he painted? Slightly rust coloured, but in big red letters across the side of him is just written wah. +1 to everything. Okay.
We're in, guys. We got it. Fucking
You
just
hit
what?
the button. And then... the doors close. And the elevator starts to go down. You're descending for about 5 minutes as it takes you down into this facility. When it eventually stops, the doors open. And it reveals to you a long corridor. Talking maybe about 80 feet until you hit an end point. But at each interval, maybe every 20 foot, there are 2 turn-offs. So 20 foot, turn off, left and right. 20 foot, turn off, left and right. 20 foot, turn off, left and right. 20 foot, and at the far end there is another pair of double sliding doors, suggesting maybe another elevator.
Breach and clear.
Or get a ping for Fergus?
Down.
Down.
Oh wait, so you're using locate creature, yeah?
Yes, I am.
Does that
It
that's
doesn't give me
within
like a path, but it's just a
1,000
general
feet.
area where they are.
it's within
Yeah, it's within
1,000
that-
feet, right?
Within the 1,000 feet,
Yeah.
though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it tell you what the distance is, or does it just say he's within 1,000 feet?
It's just within this. It's like the ping gets stronger as I get closer, like sonar kind of a thing, but it doesn't give me like, you are 20 feet away from the child.
We would like to cast MapQuest, please.
So again, the question mark is, does it give you they're above you, they're below you, they're left, they're right? It just
Yeah.
gives you.
Yeah, it gives me a general
Yeah.
direction.
Okay, below you.
Okay.
Fergus is below us.
Let's find
We
another
need to
elevator.
go-
It's probably through there, but we should check these sideways just in case. We don't need to go down them, but we should at least like keep an eye on those corners.
And keep an eye out for traps.
Open up the doors, but let's try to move swiftly. We're not going to last not long in here.
If it's just doors, we move on.
With just doors, okay. We check corridors, but we don't engage. We want to try and find the next elevator.
And we're looking for those traps. We're
Yeah,
looking
And
but
we're
for
Right,
looking.
we
anything
go
We
back
are
up
being
top.
that could
careful.
harm
Yeah.
us. That's why we've
Yeah.
got the mages.
I forgot they were already with us.
Yep.
Okay. So, as you move through this place, you get to turn off one. You've got left and right. You look to the left and you can see, funnily enough, on this level, these doors are labelled. As you look to your left, it says mess. As you look to your
mess
right,
hall.
it says barracks.
Okay.
Please don't say treasure room. Please don't say treasure room. I am focused right now.
Like, ooh, my son, my cash and prize.
The treasure is down
Surprise.
below.
The treasure is my family. Shit.
The real treasures, the friends we made along the way.
If it doesn't give me a tattoo, it doesn't count. We go past both of those doors. Neither of them seem interesting or worth the time.
The
Okay.
adventure concludes. Jericho gets a tramp stamp of Fez.
You continue forward. You look down to your left. It's same thing. Say the one on the left, the placard above the door says command, and on the right hand side it says surface command.
Okay, hear me
Do
out.
you want to plant some bombs?
I think that the Vezid, this might be a good place for you to fuck shit up.
I could drop mustard gas.
Do it. Fucking do it.
Gonna slide the door open really quiet and see what's
Which one,
going
command
on.
or surface command?
I'm gonna say surface command.
Okay. Slide open surface command, and what you can see is essentially imagine like the interior of like a submarine war command room. Loads of computer desks or loads of like desks with arcane projections which show what's going on the surface. And you've got like, maybe a team of like 10 people in here manning these, reporting and such. And
Not
you've
for
got
long.
you've got one who appears to be like a high-ranking soldier, just kind of giving commands here and there, looking at these screens, which again, to reiterate, they only show the surface.
It's time to cast IBS. Stinking Cloud into the center of the room.
And what's the saving throw you need for Stinking Cloud?
That is a con save DC 18 or lose your action due to retching and vomiting.
Woohoo!
That's pepper spray.
That is a very powerful fart.
Okay, Constitution, you said?
Mm-hmm.
We got a 10, a 4, a 12, a dirty 17, and a 20.
Only one
for
of
that
those guys.
20, I'm going to use a nice little woe, because I did roll, and I got woed for today. So I'm going to roll a nice little d6 and see if we can bring that down a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, that was -4, so that brings it to 16?
So we've got then a 4, a 10, a 12, a 16, and a 17.
No one passes.
Okay? The
Oh,
next
sorry,
five.
I'm not muted.
Oh, sorry.
I got all excited, forgot I wasn't muted.
That was really high-pitched of me, so I'm so sorry.
A 2,
Don't worry, I
a
was
3,
there too.
a 2, a 3, a 9, a 12, and a 16. Okay? They all fall apart, coughing, retching, spewing. And as you do that, your lovely paladin friend...
Oh yeah,
he's going-
Aurelian.
Aurelion is with you. So Aurelion is going to go, okay. And he's going to go, you're all going to want to look away quickly for this. And he's going to draw his greatsword. And this isn't a spell he's casting, it's a spell he can do from the sword once per day. Refreshes at dawn. He's going to use it now as the blade, all these sigils and celestial glyphs light up on the blade. And he drives the blade into the ground and he's going to cast in the centre of that room, Sunburst.
I have that spell that is going to work them.
So I'm going to give them disadvantage because spewing, retching, all that jazz, and I just think that would be something that would give you disadvantage, especially when you're trying to make, when your constitution has already been overcome by something. So, okay, we got a 3, a 10.
Hey, Bran, you got a bot in the chat.
I will get that in just a minute.
Yeah, just want to give you a heads up.
Silly bots, you're not welcome here.
D&D aren't for robots. I mean, wait, what? As we're casually going against a bunch of mechs.
Well, we're destroying them, because they're not welcome here.
Okay, that's a 13. And this one is a 12. Okay, so a 2, a 3, a 10, a 12, and a 13. None of those succeed. As we're looking for a DC 18.
They just turned to ash.
Okay.
Does it ignite the stinking cloud? Because it's just a bunch of gas and all of a
No,
sudden
'cause it's just radiant.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah. Also,
Could've been
Stinking
Death
Cloud
by
is
Fart again.
apparently flammable.
And then we've got an 8, a 10, a 12, a 12, and a 14. So all of them are going to fail on that one as well. So that's going to be 12d6 radiant damage.
Sunburst is so fun. It's so fun.
This is looking more and more like we actually take out this base rather than just save the kids. Like, this is starting off.
We're
I'm
ending
just saying
their
this
career.
place
I'm not
looks
even gonna finish-
suspicious.
I don't wanna finish
suspiciously like a
sentence.
temple.
I don't. I don't want to finish my sentence because I know as soon as I say it, the brand's gonna be like, really? I'm glad that you thought that.
So as his sunburst hits, he deals 39 radiant damage. That expands out, blasts all of them to the side. They're all blinded as well. They blinded stagger round, seeding from this radiant damage. They're all going to go unconscious.
Good. Good. Die.
The force is strong.
the command's like, surface command, do you copy? Surface command. Surface command, we need reinforcements.
Howdy.
I really need a shirt with just the skull going howdy across it.
So
Guys, just
surface
run
command
to
has
the
been
mic.
taken
Everything's
out.
fine here. How are you?
Surface command has been taken out.
Yes. Now for command.
If it worked
Do you-
once the first time,
And remember, it can't sunburst again.
That's true, but I can Stinking Cloud again because that's a concentration spell. I wasn't going to be able to do it a second time. I could just drop this one and fire it again.
Yeah.
do it. But even if we can't make these ones unconscious, disrupting the command does stuff in the background for us that we can't even know how good this is, or it's a waste of time. But we won't know. I think we do it.
Do it. Get there.
Do it now. That's it. I need you to fart.
Hang on.
Feza, are you going over to the command section, opening that and then doing the same thing?
Yep, Fez is going to walk over, kind of slide open the door to peek while casually munching on a beef and cheese burrito.
Bean and cheese burrito. Okay.
I cast Taco Bell.
I
This
have
the-
Chipotle farts.
This station is much bigger. And it's because, as
fine.
you see here, there are several screens here which show the entire base.
This will need something bigger.
How big is it?
So this particular room, you're talking 50 by 40 feet.
I can take a good chunk of this with a tidal wave.
Stinking Cloud is a 20-foot radius.
Oh.
Cover
So
a
you
little
will-
bit.
So you
I'll
can
get most of the
cover.
room.
You can cover all but the 10-foot going.
You guys,
in, basically.
anyone that's in that 10 feet, I could probably take out. So,
Yeah.
let's tidal wave, stinking cloud, and then whatever's at the very end closest to us, that's 10 feet. I will just attack them.
Alternatively,
Or
I could just scare the shit out of them.
Oh, that's right. You've got that ability.
what ability?
You make people so scared.
I'm
You
just
have-
gonna reach back and put one hand on Pinchy, and I will activate Infernal Dread, which is a 120-foot radius fear aura. Diameter fear aura. Still, that covers the whole room.
What saving throw did they need for that?
That is a Wisdom save. Same DC. That's a 19.
Okay, so one of them has meets it, beats it.
No, they don't. I'm gonna give them another wow.
Yes!
Just by saying you're giving them woe,
Yeah.
they're going to fail. So
I love whoa. Whoa just makes me feel so powerful.
okay.
What does your
So
woe
as you
look
listen-
like? Like,
Probably just like little Like when she does the wheel, it's like little happy stars and like little happy shooting stars. When it's woe, it's like a little black hole that just sucks all their luck away.
I love that. Okay.
So as you throw it, as you send out this aura, while this room is much bigger, it has a smaller amount of staff because all they're doing is essentially watching security cameras. They're not needed to be paying attention to a massive assault that's going on the surface. So the 5 people that are in here, who are little more than scientists, drop to the ground, petrified in fear at Fez's aura. With command and surface command taken out, and taken out swiftly as well, so nobody's had a chance to raise an alarm.
How long does the fear last?
It is. I have to check the actual original thing because I didn't write it down.
Hold up, let me pull it up and I'll check.
Oh, I've got it right here.
You got it, yeah?
Yep. It says, get down to machine cultist. 1 minute.
So, are we gonna like try and tie them up? Like, we have 1 minute to keep them incapacitated because, but we're gonna leave and they're gonna go right back to what they were doing. If we didn't take
Oh, they
them
actually
out, we
have to run. They have to run away from me.
Oh,
So I'm just going to let them leave and run right outside.
you want to drop a bomb or something in here before we go?
Like a pipe bomb?
Always. But I mean, this is tech, right? This is all
Yes.
like wires and shit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna walk around shocking, grasping everything.
Oh, just fucking. We just take out the command electronics.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
so
I'm
you
just gonna
walk around
brick everything.
as you're shocking, grasping everything. Images that project the total like layout of this whole place shut down.
Before
Oh, it's good. I was gonna say.
before all the screens shut down, does any of them see? Do I see my son on them? Any of
You
them?
don't see Teddy specifically, but you do see what looks to be like.
Teddy is fine. He's on the back of a whale.
So sorry, Fergus. So Fez, you and 8 will recognise it, as you've seen something like this before. In the ruins of Solanus, the massive underground, what was supposed to be at one point a prison, but eventually got turned into like a bunker for people to survive. The mind flayers took over it and started using it as a place to,
Store
hatch
people.
to store people. It's essentially the layout of one of those, but much bigger, and you can see individual cells with all kinds of people inside of them. So yeah, you can see that, and the screen on it is labelled as 4th floor. So it's the 4th floor down. You are currently on the 1st floor. Fez, another thing that you're going. Fez, another thing that I'm going to say. I don't know why I said Fez there, as if it was going to be specifically you. You can also all roll perception to see if you grab anything else.
Perception. Dang it, I rolled wretchedly. I got a 13 when I've got a
I
plus
also got a
11.
13.
I got a 17. How am I the most perceptive one here?
My passive is better.
My passive
On a
is
13
really
and on a 13 and a 13, 8, you are distracted from this by the goings on, the shockings and such. Jericho, as soon as you see where the prison is located, you're like, okay, cool, that's all I need to fucking know. Fez, you are going to be able to see something extra now. I do need you to roll me a d6 to find out what it is that you see.
4.
4. On one of the screens, it says sea floor. And despite that it's shown on a technological screen, what you see doesn't look technological. It looks like ancient ruins contained within like a huge spherical chamber. And within these ruins, you don't see much, but then just this shape moves across the camera. A shape that is equal part tentacle and fin, but as well as carapace and claw. Based on what you've seen before, I'll give you a history check if you want to make it.
All right. That is a 25.
On a 25, these runes have writing on them. Writing that you recognise. You can't read it or translate it, but you can remember a place where you saw it. A place that you jumped through a portal and ended up in at one point. These runes apparently seem to be Therosian. Suggesting that when you guys jumped through and then came back, somebody else has figured out how to jump through. But they've also brought something back.
So, is this the time that I'm going to jump through a portal or not me?
Not you.
Oh, this was
Not me.
before. This was like way back at the beginning of the campaign.
Yeah, sorry.
I see Jess's face. I'm like, I feel like I should be excited, but I have no idea.
Yeah, no, this is from like way earlier.
Other than that, there's nothing there for you, as you shocking grasp everything into oblivion, and everything within the command station shuts down.
Well, that'll be fun. Guys, there's a Kraken somewhere.
Oh,
Oh,
And
fantastic.
And he might be Greek.
wait. As in, like, Theros?
Yes.
Oh no.
I don't know
Okay.
what this word. I don't know what this Greek word means, but for some reason I think it means Therosian.
I'm hoping it's not one of the many Therosian gods that we pissed off during our 3 weeks there, but
I
What
mean,
do you
I
mean? You
still.
only
she
pissed off
pulls out-
3 gods.
how many gods are there? There's not that many gods.
Yeah, there is. There's a good few. There's something like 12 gods.
Well, we only had a month. I mean, give us some time. We'll work our way through the pantheon.
You did piss off 2 of the major gods and 1 minor god, but
Yeah.
still.
We only made one friend.
It will just pull out like the little shaft of wheat that she was given by, I can't remember the name of the one, but she still has that little shaft of wheat. Sticks it back in
Cannot
her chest.
remember the name of your friend? Gave his life for you guys?
No,
No, we're talking
it
about
was
the
one of the
harvest god.
gods. It was one of the gods.
Yeah, I'm talking specifically in the pantheon.
Yeah, the one harvest goddess who
Karametra.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, she gave me a little piece of wheat. I still have it.
And our good boy Akrios.
I thought you said little bag of weed, and I didn't even
No.
think about it. And then you
Different god.
said it. I was like, oh, you partied.
The goddess of the
It can't
harvest is
smoke.
the goddess of the harvest is responsible for a great many things. 8 might not be able to smoke, but 8 becomes the bong.
You know?
It's trauma bonding.
I cast wheel.
No, hold on. I cast. Whoa.
Damn it.
Amazing. Amazing.
That was 10 out of 10.
I would like to
That was
cast
so good.
Righteous Smite, bro.
I would like
Oh
to
my
cast Find the Path because I'm lost, yo.
Paladin Oath of Dude.
Broladin.
Paladin.
I
I
cast
cast
crunch
pizza
berries.
rolls.
Oath of the bro code.
Okay. Okay, we've dismantled the commands,
We dismantled the command station.
and now we're going forward.
And now, okay, so if you're moving on from there, you come to the next turn off, okay? Looking to your left, just a door, no placard. Looking to the right, just a door, no placard. Looks like they're corridors that lead off to somewhere. Okay?
Go forward.
We gotta
Skip
get
it,
to
moving on.
Floor 4.
We gotta get down to floor 4.
You get towards the last ones, the last turn-offs. To the left, security. To the right, security armory.
Oh,
And
I
then-
feel like we definitely should go to the armory. I mean, security. For purposes.
I think we need to go to both. I mean, we need to take out security first, then we go to the armory so that we get all the best weapons and then destroy all the rest.
Yeah, I feel like that's the best plan. I feel like that is the most.
Silas is going to put his hand up and say, I have an idea on how to deal with security.
All ears.
He's going to take his hands, he's going to walk up to the doors, he's going to draw his fingers out, creating lines of magic, swing them around a bunch of times so it creates like a glyph, and then smack it onto the door, and he's going to use one of his 9th level spell slots, as he is a wizard, and he's going to cast Arcane Lock.
That would do
Get
it.
out! I can't fucking get out! We're
Which means
security
that-
guys. I can't get.
They will have to use at least a 9th level knock or a 9th level dispel magic to get out.
I love that so much.
That, solid, honestly. Or a chime of opening.
Or a chime of opening, yeah.
If someone
Just
don't
have-
loots my body.
He's just going to turn around and go, done.
Nailed it. 10 out of 10.
Love
So
that.
now we have more time for the armory.
Okay.
I said no in the volcano. I know my son is, but this is for the greater good.
So, as you go and look in the armory, casting your eyes about, Fez, I'm not going to make you roll for it. There's nothing of major import here.
Oh.
There's a couple of, like, high-performing, like, range weapons. The equivalent to, like, high-powered stun guns and such. There's, your typical shields, maces, suits of body armor. There's nothing above what you guys are carrying right now.
Not worth it. Let's go.
Then, after that, all it is doors to another elevator.
Let's go.
Okay. This elevator, unlike the first one, has different levels, has different buttons on it. You have 2. So you have obviously the button for 1, but the button for 1 is inactive right now because you're on floor 1. It has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then SF.
I think 4 and then SF.
Great.
So you're going straight to the 4th floor. Okay. The elevator goes down much quicker than the first one. Within the space of a minute, it slams down, grinds to a halt at the 4th floor. As the door opens, you are presented with a sight 2 of you have seen before, but Jericho, you're seeing it for the first time. The walls are circular. You're probably talking about 200 feet radius, 400 foot it would take you to walk around the entire thing. In order to descend to the below levels of these cells and the upper levels of it, you would have to go across a walkway into the middle and then go up or down a spiral staircase. It is designed that it all ways to escape without using major magical capabilities, you would have to enter that middle zone. Is there anything you guys would like to do as you step in here, seeing these circular walls covered with cells, each of them filled with people of varying races and capabilities?
My ping go off? For
Yes.
Fergus?
Fergus is close.
I'm gonna spread my little stained glass wings and start flying around and see if I can find him.
I think
Okay.
we said that we were.
Go ahead.
We said that we were trying. Fergus isn't the only one we're trying to save here.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just trying to find him first.
Yeah, I think Jericho's gonna look for like the open all cell door button.
Okay. So before we get that way, so Jericho, are you just running across? Going across the bridge to try and get to the middle part and see where it goes from there?
Check for traps! Check for traps! This is a magic prison!
I am not looking for traps. I'm
That's
running
so
to
valid,
try.
but oh no.
I am a mom on a mission, so like if we're going to do this, like let him get one trap off. Let him do it. Like we've been doing so well. I run.
You can have one
mom
trap
mode
as a trait.
to try and save all these people. I'm looking for my son. I'm running on adrenaline, spite, and maybe a little bit of margarita. What happens when I
Okay. Fez, what about you?
I'm going to drive the bus. Like,
You're roaring forward with Pingy.
They see me rolling.
Okay.
remind me
In
with
that
small
case-
hydraulics.
As you all step forward, a couple of things happen.
We all
So,
die.
Jess, you spread your wings and you take off and you fly. And you fly forward.
Yes.
It is a very good thing that your wings are a natural part of you at this point.
Oh, no.
Ooh, boy.
Jericho, you step inside, and that noted sentience, the mind of Elendar in the back of your mind since you've become the wielder of the mantle, goes very quiet.
Oh, it's anti-magic in here.
Fez, Pinchy disappears.
Oh no!
As the one trap you guys chose to, yeah, cool, let them trigger one trap, is a complete magic nullification zone.
Luckily, I'm a fighter,
No.
so
I'm not going to be that dick that says you de-attune to your magic items, even though that's technically what's meant to happen. But it'll essentially count as if you are. 8. Wave is no longer a powerful trident linked to the planes of the linked to the plane of water. It's just a trident.
Oh, my wave, my buddy.
Jericho, you have your 2 other blades that you can wield at much less capabilities, as the mantle just becomes a shiny cloak.
I can still hit things. I'm a
And-
fighter. I'm fine.
Fez, it's a good thing you've got bombs.
And a gun.
And a gun.
A fuck cannon.
Well,
No, the fuck cannon
because
is magic.
The
Oh,
fuck
no.
cannon it will still fire, but it will not fire magically, and it will no longer shout fuck.
It's not a fuck. It's more of like a fuck.
Yeah, no, luckily I have like a gun. Like I have a pistol.
I love that.
That's no magic. We can deal with no magic. That's not a big deal. Guys, look around. See
We
if
have
we
no
can
magic, neither do they.
Not
Assumedly,
necessarily.
assuming that is the case. Desert, you know technology better than I do. Open these. Get the people out.
Buy me the control panel, and you have a jailbreak on your hands.
It's magic. It's just a pretty ding ding right now. Ding 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 ding.
Yeah,
It just
I need just show me where it opens from. We need to find the control panel.
I look tirelessly for this control panel.
So do I.
Investigation checks, all of you.
I'm pretty good at that.
I have
My
expertise.
locate creature is off now.
You're better than that. Good. Oh, well, I mean, we know roughly where he is.
He's at least within this 400-foot area.
Okay.
All right. I got an 18.
An
got a
18 on
35?
investigation? A 35 on investigation.
Okay, you found it.
Jericho finds it.
I have a
Roll.
passive investigation of 31, so I am a good finder. I'm like the most Hufflepuff of Hufflepuffs.
You're such a...
Jericho, it doesn't take you long. You go into this central column, and you've got a 50-50 choice. You go down or you go up. It's something in your mind, despite it being quiet, for a weirdly amount of time. A weird amount of time, sorry.
Mom intuition.
Tells you
Mom's
go up.
intuitions.
So you go up, until you hit a room of some kind which has a wide array of buttons. Each of these buttons numbered as they assign to a particular cell door. In the middle of all of them, there is an open all access button.
Fucking
There's
slam.
also okay, you
wait.
slam it and hit it, and all the doors drop.
I did it. Jess is like, why do you not wait till the end of the description?
That and why are we not checking for traps? Why are we just pressing buttons?
Because I've got anxiety and adrenaline. It's never a
That
good
is
thing.
so
I have poor
valid.
impulse
As a
control,
mom.
and neither of us should be in front.
All due respect, if this bothers anyone, like she's a mom on a mission. She wants to save her son. She has adrenaline. She's not thinking as clearly as she normally would. So if this bothers anyone, please ping me and I will dial it down. But like, this is very much what I don't want to be like. It's what my
No,
character
it's so
would do.
fair.
But like in this
It's
sense,
so fair.
her son's been in this place for like 6 months.
That's so
There's
valid.
there is also a second button beneath that. The second button is to deactivate the magic nullification area.
Bam!
Slam.
But
You gotta stop leaving big pauses.
You did such a big pause. I like it.
sorry, I have to breathe.
Damn it.
I'm going to take back as if you've not pressed that, but beneath that, there is like 4 wheels with different symbols on different parts of them, as if it forms a code.
Ben, who's good at codes? I am not.
I'm a
Yes.
genius.
I'm not saying I know what's going on, but we can take down the magic thing if maybe the code, possibly, not my forte.
All right,
Is
let me
everything
see.
open
What we
though?
got.
Just because a couple of things have jumped over and because I couldn't finish full descriptions, just to get things fully out there, right? You press button to open gates, nothing happens. Okay? You press button to drop magic nullification, nothing happened. 4 things beneath it, code. Need code
Okay.
to press buttons.
I need code to
Gotcha.
press both buttons to open everything and turn the magic off. Help me!
All right, let's see what we got. All right, let me take a look at these code wheels here.
The code wheels seem to just be sequential numbers.
I am very smart, but M is bad at puzzles, so I would like to be helping at every point during this.
So it's 4 numbers. I am immediately going to try 1, 2, 3, 4 and 8008.
You 1, 2, 3, 4, and just all of the buttons across the panel red. You try 8008.
Well, there go my 2 best ideas. Let's see.
Is there any numbers that are important to the fleet that you guys know about? You've had more instances. Like, is there something?
Hang on a second. I'm going to set all the numbers to 1.
Okay.
Nothing for that.
You would. No, nothing happens.
All right.
Bran?
So you'd have to set. You would have to set the number to them, and then press one of the buttons.
All right. All the numbers to 1. Press the door open button.
Red across the board.
Bran,
Yes.
can I look at the numbers themselves and see if there's any number that is specifically worn? Because I used to be a rogue, so I didn't know how to open things. So I'm looking for wear and tear. Like, would this number have seen more? Like, if there's more dust on this one, that means it was in the opening more often. Meaning it was probably either like. I'm just looking for all the details to possibly not have to figure.
Yep, I understand what you're looking for here. I will call that. Okay, so technically that's like looking for markers that would signify an answer. So the closest that's going to fall into is going to be survival. So give me a survival check.
Guidance!
All of the guidance.
Oh, wait. Charlie just gave us a nat 20.
Okay. So that nat 20, what that's going to bring for you for a survival with a nat 20, what's your survival modifier?
Not great. It's a +1, so it's a 22.
You also get the guidance with it.
I got the 1 as well, so it's a 22.
Okay.
It's a 27. Flash of genius.
It's
Fuck
a
it.
27. Where's the genius? Charlie, I love you. Mwah. Kisses.
Okay. With that nat 20, you're going to be able to figure out that it's not necessarily any of the numbers are worn. It's more like as you spin the wheel, it gets looser towards certain numbers. As in, it's been moved to those numbers quite a bit.
And that I will try and figure out the numbers that have that little extra movement to see if I can find the code that way.
On that, I'll give you I would give you the first 3 numbers on that one quite easily. Okay? It goes 8, 6, 4.
I immediately go to 2
Yeah, that.
for the last one.
So you put it to 2. Are you pressing one of the buttons?
Yes.
Red across the board.
8, 6, 4. No.
Then all the buttons start flashing red.
Oh no, we only have one more go. Shit. Visits, I'm like 90% sure that I got the first 3 right. I do not know the last number. It's 8, 6, 4. Eight. You've mentioned it before. You were part of the fleet, correct?
Yes.
And you are number 8. Is there anyone? Which numbers are not like you anymore?
Meaning that are still parts of the fleet?
Yes.
That would be 6 and 10.
No, that's not it
And
then.
7.
No, that's not it. If it's because I was thinking possibly past numbers, but if you're on one side and the other, that's not it. 8, 6, 4.
Can you please stop barking? Can you please stop?
I'm going to see if... Can I make a Tinker's Tool check to inspect the mechanism and see if I can discern anything from that?
I'll allow that. That's something that hasn't been tried already, so I'll allow that.
Guidance!
We're in an anti-magic zone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was a 21 for my last one. Sorry.
26. No, 26, because I still Flash of Genius isn't
Oh,
magic.
That's bad.
It's just
I
I'm a
love
nerd
that.
and I'm correcting you.
I appreciate that.
He mansplained.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? In this realm, we like that.
We will allow it this time.
We'll allow that.
I
I didn't need Charlie for this nat 20.
on a tinker
without doing the puzzle.
on a tinker's check, you examine this. You scope in, lean in. You're like looking into the cracks of the wheel to see where the metal has been thinned down a little bit. You do everything you possibly can. And then it strikes you as to something that could be a very easy explanation here. If you attach these to a letter system, Jericho's past attempt could spell a few different words, but there's only one word that you've really ever heard attached to the fleet before, but it also describes the kind of area you're in right now. As you note that A is the letter V, 6 is the letter O, 4 is the letter I, 2 would be an A, a B, or a C, and it doesn't make
D.
sense.
3.
But as
3.
soon as you go to the number 3, you get the word void.
Yes. Oh, that's cool.
All right, I will set it to 3, and I will hit the door open button.
You hit the doors open button, all the lights go green, and the doors all... At which point, people just flood out, gunning for the central, the central stairwell, but they start making their way down.
Like past where we were?
No, you guys went up, so they're going to the middle of it, then they're going down.
All right, we got to turn off this magic nullification field. I'm going to hit the magic nullification button and see if that does anything else.
Hit the magic nullification button, and the magic nullification goes away.
All right, we got our shit back.
So when you're concentrating on a spell in magic field, you don't lose concentration on that spell, correct? Or does it stop?
I think it stops it.
I believe it stops it.
Yeah. But I can cast it again.
I
I
think
spell spots for it.
Jericho immediately sees everyone running down, and she starts yelling Fergus's name.
Okay. You're...
Fergus!
Yeah.
Fergus!
As you're sitting and you're shouting for him, standing as all of these things go, there's one cell where there's one person still inside the cell, even though the doors have dropped. They look fairly familiar.
Like his father's eyes familiar?
Definitely looks like he's got some familiar heritage to you.
I'll run to that cell so fast.
You run down the stairs, you push past people, and you're booking it towards that cell. As you're getting close to it, somebody's going to shout after you, "Hey! Hey you! Hey! Hey, slow down there!"
My son!
If you're about to consider that might be your son, I got some bad news for you. But that right there is a fake. Somebody came in here, wiggled their fingers, and made a copy of him.
And I walk
He's
slower.
gonna point at his wrist. Show this right here. Before you did your little thing up there, make everything all go off. Let's make sure we can be found. And he's gonna point to this thing here, this copy, where they don't have one.
Eight. He's saying that this is a copy and it's not my son. I need to confirm or deny that.
I will not go into the cell, but be next to it, and I will cast Dispel Magic on it.
At what level?
I really want it to work.
This might be a simulacrum. That's the thing.
Let's just do it at 3rd level, and if I have to roll, I have to roll.
At 3rd level, I'm going to have to ask you to roll. It's going to be a d20 plus your spell casting modifier.
Okay. Please roll well. I rolled a 2, and my spellcasting modifier is 5, so that's a 7. So that definitely doesn't work.
No, on a 7, you, in the nicest way possible, you don't generate enough power to dispel a cantrip. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
you throw it out there, but whatever this is, one thing you do get from it though, if this is the real Fergus, or if it's a fake Fergus, whichever one it is, there's some high power magic floating around it. Whether it was generated by high power magic, or somebody's put high powered magic onto it. There's some serious level shenanigans going on here. Like, we're talking like your highest capabilities of magic are on par with this. You could expend that amount of power to get rid of it,
Yeah.
but you'd be expending that amount of power.
Yeah. Could I use Thorn Whip and try and pull it towards us?
I would, if you cast locate creature, it will just ping in a different location and we'll know.
No, the bracelets make it so that they can't be found.
Yes.
If that's a
Oh,
simulacrum.
they
So
can't be
whatever
found. I
I
thought
was
it was like-
following, it was not Fergus.
Shit.
Can I do a little Thorn Whip and see if I can pull whatever
Yeah, you
it is
certainly
towards
can.
us?
So you cast Thorn Whip, goes forward, it wraps around it, it's physical, you pull it towards you, but it has no reaction.
Fergus? Fergus! Fergus, you talk to your mother right now!
Turns and looks at you, but it doesn't react beyond that.
It's not my son. He's not afraid enough.
This is
Let's
a
go.
crap simulacrum is what it is.
Not my son. My son knows. He would have answered. He knows better not to respond.
If I know anything about the fleet, and I do technically know anything about the fleet, the important shit is on the bottom.
Yes, it is. And you see the the dump truck goes sway confidently down. We're going. This is not my son. Thank you for letting me know, sir. I appreciate the help.
Thank you, Gambit.
Yeah, you pop the button on this cell. Turns out I owe you.
Yeah. I think we've followed the crowd until we. I think we follow the crowd, unless you guys have a different idea. Like, we
Back
have to go
the
down.
bus,
They're
the
going.
elevator down to floor
Or we
SF.
go to the elevator, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That, that staircase there, that don't take you out of this place. That just takes you where all our stuff is being held. People just be running down there to get their stuff back.
Okay.
All right.
Speaking of which,
there is a.
I do have a very fine hat. I do have to go and get.
Please do.
He will start
when
making his
when
way
you're
down
done, there's a huge fight going on upstairs. Feel free to kick as much ass as possible, as long as it's fleet ass.
I reckon I could spare a few cards to throw their way.
Oh yeah, it's an all-you-can-eat ass buffet.
I ain't no fan of eating ass, but
This Gambit. This is pretty
totally.
Gambit.
it's not Gambit, but give me a minute.
I'm gonna make a name for myself today. I don't think you make it out of this, bud.
Okay. Need to let Heath out real quick, so I will be right back. He is gonna lose his mind, so I'll be right back.
It's not Gambit, but it is an NPC that I made that has the Cartomancer feat.
I love that. Hey,
It's,
Brad. Jess is going to take Heath out.
I was just about to say, if you guys are going towards the elevator.
Yep.
Okay. And she's making her way back to the elevator. Silas is going to command the mages to stay here and make sure people start getting moved back up there. Silas is still going to come with you guys And like so, for when you do run into any magical traps, if you do, he'll be there to help with that. But he's going to tell the mages at this point, get these people upstairs, get these people out into safety. But on that note, as you guys make your way back into the elevator, we are going to take our 15-minute break here. We are just we're roughly a wee bit ahead of it, but we're going to take it just now, and when we come back, we'll go into part 2 of this session. Don't go anywhere, folks, and we will see you after our Well, hello there, beautiful people. We are back for part 2 of our session, and we had left off with the party getting into the elevator. From the 4th floor, you have multiple options available, guys. You've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then C floor. Which one you hit?
And you can't get any more bottom than sea floor.
So you're going down to the sea floor?
This is me asking, Bezzet.
Oh, okay.
Sea floor is where the Kraken's at. Maybe we should go to 6 and sea floor if we can't find it there.
I will say, I remember when I scried on Fergus, he was in a tank, and I
Right.
saw the thing around him. So
Sea floor. Sea
probably
floor.
where
Let's
he's
go.
I was about, yeah, I remember that. If he's in a tank, I want to, either it's getting siphoned off in 6, or it's a tank in, sorry, I have allergies right now, so my nose just, I don't know. My gut is saying that they're siphoning the water and it's at level 6. My gut's telling me 6.
I say we go for that then.
6 it
Go
is.
with
it
Mama's
is. 6
intuition.
first.
Punch.
You hit 6. The elevator moves down 2 floors. Again, doesn't take long, but a minute and a half to get to these floors. And as it hits the 6th floor, when the door opens, you feel the thrum of energy here. Like the air is vibrating with power here. You step out onto it, and there is you step out of the elevator, and there's a brief corridor, maybe about 10 feet, which takes you into a star-shaped patterned crossroads. You've got 2 corridors, 2 corridors on either side of you which go diagonally backwards, 2 corridors ahead of you which go diagonally forwards, and then one that goes straight ahead of you. So think of it like a 6-pointed star. Each of these is secured. Each of these is secured with a heavy-duty door with a small window, and there is wires everywhere. Wires coming from each of these diagonal doors and going towards that door directly ahead of you.
Can I look in the windows?
You certainly can.
I would like to look in the windows of the doors and see what's going on here.
So let's take it clockwise, okay, for the sake of, brevity and such. If we're going on a clock face, let's say you guys are at clock face position 6, okay? You go to the door to your left, which would be between 7 and 8. And you look through, and inside there is a gargantuan creature pinned to the ground, multiple metal bonds and such, and tubes all over it. You recognise a very emaciated, very weak looking dragon.
This is where they got the stuff for the PPEG.
Yep.
Whatever colour of dragon this used to be, its scales are grey. They look like metal, but not like shining silver or platinum or gold or anything like that. Dull grey. Like tarnished iron. This dragon could be chromatic, gemstone, metallic, it could be one of the cosmic it could be any dragon type, you cannot tell. Its colour is just washed away. Going around to the next one, which would be between 10 and 11 on a clock face, you see a similar scene. A metal wheel binding wrists, and ankles and the neck of a creature that is beautiful, resplendent in nature. What were perhaps at one point beautiful wings have been plucked of all their feathers, or their feathers have all fallen off. What was maybe at one point beautiful, glowing, radiant golden hair is limp, straw-like hair. Again, tubes and wires all over them. Very, very gaunt. As you move to the centre one, the one that would be directly across from you all, at clock face 12, looking in there, an emaciated, gaunt man. You can tell from this, by the way, this red robe that he wears, very, very resplendent robe, great finery, sits on a chair, huddled. All these wires that flow into this door seem to flow into this room and are plugged into a huge piece of apparatus on his back.
Oh, it's the baby AJ.
Going on from him, again, this one would fall between clock face numbers 1 and 2. As you look in here, similar to the one that you've seen, before this with the Celestial. But this figure is definitely infernal in origin. Again, very similar picture. They are shaking with muscle fatigue and exhaustion. Emaciated body. Their horns are broken, and it doesn't look like they were sawed off or anything like that for experimentation. It's almost like they've become so weak their horns just grew brittle and broke. When an infernal being of this much power is this close to you, usually there is some aura of fear they give off, but this is quite a pathetic sight. And as they move on round, this would be the final one. This one would be in between clock positions 4 and 5. As you look through the window here, Jericho, you see a large tank filled with weird purple brine, and inside of it, what was maybe at one point quite an intimidating elder brain, but it's shriveled at this point. Again, tubes all wired into, not into the tank, into the brain itself.
Teddy is not here, but I also don't think we should leave this like this. Or, sorry, Fergus, I didn't know. Sorry, I need
Not
another
so
margarita.
easy, is it?
Read it and weep. I add that consequence of my actions. I get it.
Love, 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 love.
Says it.
Yeah.
How do we break it without hurting everybody?
Well, first off, we want to hurt the Elder Brain.
It's
Screw
being-
that guy.
Oh, yeah. Fuck him for being in the tank and tortured.
It's an
They
Elder
like
Brain.
to try
I
and
think
control people and murder people and turn
We
them into
spend it-
mind flayers. Blah, 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 blah.
we spent enough
What?
time fighting squids. We don't need to fight more.
What is he going to goo you to death?
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay.
and then he wants to eat your brain.
it's a parasite.
Okay.
But we've also seen what the fleet does with these little bastards. So,
Can
It's
we
not pretty.
unplug?
I mean, there's tubes or wires or something going from each of these guys into the, I'm going to guess, old man, because it's always an old man.
He has really, really white hair as well, which means that before his hair turned grey, he was probably a ginger.
Oh no, that's too full on.
No, and
It's
Oh,
the
you know what?
BBAJ. Now I
I
know
bet
it's
he's got.
the BBAJ.
I bet he has eyes.
Question:
Right.
Would 8 recognize the guy at all?
Yeah. He's a lot older. A lot older.
Yeah.
but as you look at him, you notice key features. And you're able to recognize a person that visited you and your party in a tavern a long time ago. Talking to you about wanting to hiring you guys for a job to secure something that would, make you all capable of taking on any threat. His exact words were, it would turn you into a 10-man army. As you can look at the person who created the decade.
Oh, she is filled with so much murder at this moment.
I know this is a huge reveal. I do not know why you're upset.
That motherfucker is the reason why 8 is made of metal.
Oh, we don't like her. Fuck her.
Yeah, he also probably ended the world.
Fuck him, her, help.
Him. Yes. I will say, 8 hasn't said anything at this point.
I would know.
She is just staring there, and there's probably just like red sparks coming off, and she's just so filled with anger that her body's just manifesting the anger as these like sparks coming off of her.
I am getting the non-verbals just fine. We don't like her. We do not like. Shall we go deal with them?
Break the connections first.
Break the connect. Okay.
We can't let him power up any more than he already has.
Bionic blades.
So, Jericho, you start to send out your blades. As you send out those blades, Fez, in your mind you're going to hear, hey, like those things that I've been kind of helping you out with, and I've been asking for not a whole lot in return.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm gonna need something from you right now, buddy.
What?
I need you to let him finish.
Why the hell does he need to finish?
Oh no.
Oh,
Because if he don't finish, then the plan don't work. I'm gonna need just a little bit of trust from you here, buddy. Hey, who better to trust than yourself, you know? I'm older, I'm wiser, I've seen some shit.
You've been me for a hell of a lot longer than I've been me. So I think you and I both know that if I'm going to make any decision, it sure as fuck isn't gonna be fucking wise. And I'm gonna throw a grenade right at the old guy.
So you're throwing a grenade at the door.
Oh shit, he's behind a door, right.
I'm
I'm gonna go the opposite direction of Jericho. I'm just severing ties. I got the chain sword out. We're cutting through.
Okay. As you're doing that, the voice takes on an aspect it's not had before. It becomes menacing, threatening. It's not the way that you're threatening. Fez is threatening in the way of haha, guess what? Fuck you, bang. This becomes intelligent, calculating, threatening. And it says every single thing that you got in your arsenal comes from me. You want that to work? You do what I say. Otherwise, I got perfect ways to orchestrate how you and your friends meet a pretty grisly end.
Yeah, I understand that you're the big bad evil bastard, but here's the thing: you're in the fucking future. If I don't turn into you, you can't do shit.
I'm in the future if things go the way you're supposed to do them now. You're fucking with unknown consequences for unknown things. Now, I know you, Fez. I am you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that even you don't take gambles that blind.
I have twice.
Now, Fez, before you make a decision here, I do have to state this will involve a character choice where it could instill changes. I will, as I always am when it comes to these decisions, I will be very clear about what the changes will be. You will lose your link to your subclass. For the sake of functionality, going into the rest of this session, you'll retain all your spells and all that kind of stuff, but I won't let you use any subclass features. Okay? You'll be going in as a blank artificer. Unless you go with what future you is asking you to do. So with that knowledge in mind, I will ask you, Fez, are you moving forward with your link, your helmet that binds you to future you and the source of your power? Or are you taking a step away, choosing to alter what was apparently your planned future?
Like I said, I've made that blind gamble twice. The first time, I lost an eye, and the second time, I made the only real friends I've ever had. I'm willing to make that gamble on them again. I could give a fuck about you. You're an old man. We don't like old men.
This is my favorite Fez moment that's ever happened. Oh my god!
So sad.
I want that clip. I want that. Oh, that was
I want
so
that
good.
just playing on a t-shirt like
Uh-huh.
screen.
The helmet launches itself from you. The last
shoot
thing
it.
you hear, you fire it off it, and the last thing you hear is just, "I expected more from you. I expected
Right now, you sound like my
better."
dad.
And then it disappears, fades, flickers, and dissipates. Jericho. Something about this old man is different now. He's got a metal eye. And there appears to be some kind of weird cybernetic part to his head.
He just changed. He's an eye now.
This guy was young.
Can I open his door?
If you've got the chime,
I can't.
no
can I
door.
just
You can try. Like you push on it. There's no visible.
Ding, ding.
Like, there's no
I
hand
don't-
or ding. Okay, cool. You ding,
Yep.
and the door.
I have one charge left.
The door slides down, and you guys are hit with wave after wave of like real unbridled raw planar magic. We're talking celestial, infernal, draconic, all kinds of magic is coming off of this guy, pulsing waves of it. As the door drops and you guys are, starting to push your way through, to begin with, I'm going to need an athletics check from you guys.
Oh, thank you, gloves. Gauntlets of ogre power.
Oh, it's not acrobatics.
Unfortunately, you're pushing against raw waves of power. You're relying on your brute force here.
I don't have brute force. I have very thick thighs.
I have brute force, but that doesn't help when you roll a 7.
I rolled a
So-
16.
16 for 8. I will roll for Silas and for Aurelion. Aurelion comes in strong with a 17 on the die for a total of 23. Silas doing not so bad. 15 with a total of +2. So 17 in total. They're both going to make past the first one. Fez, what did you get in total?
7. I rolled a 3 with a +4.
7, okay. 8, your total?
Was 16.
16. Jericho, your
14
total?
plus 2.
I rolled a 10 for a 10.
Okay.
What a beautiful 10 it is.
Everybody
You're 10 out
but
of
Like
Fez
a-
is everybody but Fez is going to make it past the first wave.
Hell yes.
As
Okay.
Fez, you're like running in place and not moving. You guys all
think I
manage
got
to
it, guys.
push past. As you push past, the head is going to turn and look at you all. As this emaciated old body starts to fill out. I've been waiting so long for this. I almost thought it would never happen. I need another athletics check as another wave pushes against you all.
Can I try something?
Okay, hold on those athletics checks. What you want to try?
Can I do a Dispel Magic at 9th level?
Dispel magic
Make
at
like a little
9th level.
shield around us. See if that can help.
Oh, you mean on the wave of magic coming off of him?
Or no, actually, no. Let's do it on him. Let's do it on him. Let's get the magic off of him.
Okay, so you're wanting to do a dispel magic at 9th level on him, focusing on removing any magic effects around him.
Yeah.
Okay, to be
it's
clear,
that.
that's okay. Cool. So you launch out a 9th level spell, and as it hits, the spell takes effect. Any magic effects around him drop, but the magic rolling off of him doesn't stop.
Okay.
As it's not coming from a magical source, it's coming from the machines. However, what that does tell you is this is technological. There's no magic being cast here. There's magical energies being channeled into him, but they're being channeled into him through a machine, not through a spell being cast or activated or such. So as that hits and you feel the magic take effect, you know your spell has done what it's supposed to do, but it has no effect, you gain that daunting realization that this is a machine. This is, for lack of a better way of putting it towards a druid who would know, this is completely unnatural. On that note, with that, I am going to have to say, guys, at this point, I'm going to need your athletics checks on this. Oh, DC increases on this one as well, guys. I'm not going to say by how much.
I got an 18 on the die.
And another fucking 7.
Oh my god, Bessie!
Oh. I only got an 11 on this one. I rolled a 9 plus 2. So.
Okay, so Silas this time is not able to move forward with a total of 6. Aurelion manages to push forward again. Anybody that got above a 13 will push forward. Moving closer and closer and closer. This old man will turn and put his eyes towards you, Fez. And he'll say, I really have you to thank. If I didn't have you in my head the entire time, this never would have worked. If I didn't have your genius. And he's going to turn and look at 8. I never would have made my masterpiece. And then
You're gonna kill him. She's gonna kill him.
I need from you all your last athletics checks.
Can I do another thing?
You can try another thing if you want to.
Can I cast Windwalk on us? So that
You'll need. It takes a minute to shift form.
It's true.
Does it?
Casting
it does.
casting it's just an action, but turning into the cloud takes a whole minute.
Yeah. Dang it. Okay.
Windwalk's a really cool spell. Anytime
That's
I've
so
ever been able
cool.
to, every time I've ever been able to cast it, I'm always like, I'm casting this as soon as we get inside the place. And then I'm just keeping it on concentration so that at any point we can just go, okay, we finished that fight, cool, let's move.
Yeah.
Can I try a different thing? I'm sorry, I'm throwing so many things out there.
It's okay, we have the time.
Can I try freedom of movement?
Freedom of movement, what does that do, if you can just read that for me?
So you touch a willing creature. For the duration, the target's movement is unaffected by difficult terrain, and spells and other magic effects can neither reduce the target's speed nor cause the target to be paralyzed or restrained.
Okay. Specifically, I need to ask, what level of spell is that? And at what level are you casting it?
It's a 4th level, but she'll cast it at 8th. She is so angry right now. She wants to strangle this guy.
Okay. As you're casting it at an 8th level, that spell will take effect. You're able to charge forward.
She's going straight for this guy then.
Let me just get the other athletics checks here, just to double check on that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask. I failed that check.
Me too.
Would I be allowed to use one of my action surges to try and reroll this?
Wait, don't you have Indomitable?
Indomitable is saving throws, and this isn't a strength saving throw. It's an ability check. So, in the new edition, I'd be able to use one of my second wins, but we're not using the new edition. So there's nothing I really technically can do for it.
What did you roll?
Unfortunately,
Second flash of genius, you?
7.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, we're not in combat. Aurelion and Silas both failed on that one. Aurelion absolutely bombed out. That one did. Like an absolute weapon. So, Fez, what did you get?
I got a 6. I rolled worse.
Okay. So,
No,
8, what is your movement speed?
30 feet.
30 feet, okay, so 15, 15 on the first two is 16. Freedom of movement gives you 30. If you're moving forward at your movement speed, I'm assuming that you're going to be... Oh, actually, wait, you can't. You've made an ability check, so you wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
So going forward that, you can just get to him. And as you reach him, if everything went off ideally, what would you like to do?
She wants to straight up palm his face and cast a 7th level guiding bolt.
Okay.
Yes.
I doubt that's gonna work. I bet he's got many tricks up his sleeves, but she's not thinking very clearly right now.
As you get to him, you've got this guiding bolt blaring in your hand. You run up 7th level, aim it towards him, you blast. Roll to hit.
Okay. Oh gosh. I never roll well on these. I never roll well on my guiding bolts.
Is that nat 20? Nat 20. Okay, so that's going to be that's going to be critical damage. Yeah. So nat 20 on a 7th level guiding bolt is going to be how many d8?
Oh, let me go look.
Isn't it D6s?
Yeah, it's
D6s.
D6s.
Sorry, I thought it was d8s.
It'll be 10d6, so that'll be 60.
Base.
So 60 base damage. Now I need you to roll 10d6.
Okay. I know this isn't gonna do anything to him, but I still feel victorious.
I wouldn't be so sure on that one.
Crits and brand game, this gets doubled again, doesn't it?
No, so...
no, I'm just rolling on top of it.
So you take the max, then you take the rolled, then you add any modifiers, and that's your damage.
Oh.
It doubles it doubles if they're vulnerable.
I was thinking about the called shot. That's why.
Yes. So cold shot is just straight up your max damage, but if you cold shot, and with disadvantage rolling at 20, you just get double your max damage. It's happened a scary number of times, to be perfectly honest with you. Like a scary number of times.
I remember it happened one time to me in Abyss. We don't do call shots in this campaign very often.
Oh, math is so hard.
Math is
99. 99 damage total.
99 total.
Yeah.
So as you guys are pushing against this monumental amount of power, and as you dash towards him, he looks at you and he kind of tilts his head confused, and he's like, "Why are you so angry?" And then when you reach him and you hurl this blast into his face, there's this burst of blinding light. The explosion that comes from this amount of radiant energy being thrown into someone not only makes it difficult for everybody to see, it doesn't only just send everybody flying back, it makes everything quiet. And 8, as your hand is outstretched and you start to see the light recede so that you can start to see in front of you, there's a scorch mark on a bare chest of a very young man. He just looks down and then looks up and says, "I gave you everything. And now I'll give it back." And then he is going to cast a spell. It's not going to be Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
What lurches to his fingers is beyond the standard of what a Guiding Bolt is. Not mere radiant damage, but pure celestial capabilities.
Oh, yeah.
As he gestures, he splays his hand, and in a flash, there's a burst of light. And that is where we will end today's session, guys. I am going to give you a cutscene. As this burst of light happens, Fez, Jericho, as you see this power amp up, you feel this amount of energy rollicking off this guy. You feel the pure... This is beyond a guiding bolt. Like I said, this is a celestial smite. This is the wrath of an angry planetar coming down on someone. And as he reels his hand back to throw it back at 8, a portal opens. And you just hear the sound of a click. And his spell fails. And then you see a humanoid form step out. And that is where we will end today's session. Thank you so much to everybody that came to see us today. And thank you to my amazing cast for tucking in with us and for riding this crazy storm.
That was... You have ever had one of those sessions that just like take your breath away? That was one of those sessions for me. That was so well done, and it felt the biggest thing is it felt like we put the extra effort in. You felt the difference because had we not gotten the gargoyles, had Jericho not had that range, we even didn't have dragons that were fucking. That would have been so much harder. Oh, that was so good, Bran. That was so good.
So our audience is aware, going into next session, we are going to have a guest join us. I'm not going to reveal who this guest is. I'm going to take my party. This was quite an emotional, heavy session. So I am going to say, if you'd like to know where you can see all my cast and all their many amazing things, go and check out the end of any of our other sessions over on YouTube. You'll be able to see where you can see them. But I'm going to take my cast away and I'm going to go through a little bit of aftercare just to deal with the emotions of today's session. But from all of us here at World Tree Quests, good night, stay safe. Every now and again, pull a finny. Good night, folks. Good night.